blockchain and identity and what Salesforce is doing. So I'm turning over to Phil.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Really great to be here. My name is Komarny, I'm Vice President of Innovation for Salesforce. First, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk a little fast. I know we've started a little late. But forward-looking statement, we're a public company. What I'm going to share today about blockchain hasn't been released yet. It will be released maybe early next year. But we've done some proof of concept on it, and I'll share those with you as well. Again, a little bit about me, because I think it'll frame this talk a bit. I spent about 2 decades in the ed space as a CIO, and then also as the Chief Digital Officer at the University of Texas system, where we were investigating blockchains, and I'm going to go through that. I'll show you some of that work that we did and kind of move that forward into what we're doing now at Salesforce and some of this stuff. But I've always thought of emergent technologies as a catalyst to really look at business models and how they can change. So back in 2010, I was the guy who did iPads for everybody. So we started this idea. Everybody thought we were just like, I was P.T. Barnum saying, hey, free iPad, come to school at this little school in Western Pennsylvania. But really what we did a year before that is work with faculty, and the only question I asked them was, how did we fail you? How did technology fail you? How did you walk up to this podium and have this moment where you're sitting there for 10 minutes trying to get it to work? So we solved all those problems for people, all the faculty, and then we really got them into thinking about what global would mean for the university. And for 9 years, they've won this distinguished Apple Award. But again, it changed the way they really thought about data and thought about working with their students. And again, it was a big catalyst. So this talk today is going to really talk about this industry and flux around education and why I think this blockchain is going to mean so much for it. I'll show you the Chainscript that we built at UT and why that is kind of the angle we kind of took at Salesforce and how to unleash this kind of technology to us, to our CRM and our customers. And then I'll really talk about our blockchain product and some of the proof of concept that we did with Arizona State. But this is one quote that just sticks with me, and I think that we're in this moment right now where we're constantly solving these problems around data security, privacy, the same way. But now we have this new technology that's emerged as a new way to solve that same problem. So I really want to start with that and really think about it, make us really think about that as we go forward. But this is the way we see education. It's changing at every level, from the industry, the institution, and the learner to the customer. It's all changed. I mean, this is the current, this traditional customer from what they think of an 18-year-old coming out of high school going to college is really not the traditional customer anymore. The traditional customer is the people who are in their work lives. They're constantly being re-educated. So this is going to change. This has changed. Disaggregation of the degree, that's happening too. So people want these very small little bite-sized moments of education and it gets the next promotion in their job or the next career. That's another thing that's really changed. So they're really thinking about how they can deliver modular education. And right now, the data systems in that industry preclude them from doing that. So that's another reason. And at the very top, it's like, is the degree worth it? There's the industry dynamics around what is the cost of it? So we at Salesforce work across almost every type of education environment, from large privates to for-profits. So they're all using our platform in different ways. And they're really trying to solve these problems because 65% of students that enter school today, we don't even know what job they're going to do. How are we ever going to create curriculum that's going to train them or teach them how to do that? So that's something we have to be very aware of. And we've always taught through these very distinct life cycles. So when you think of K through 12 and go to college and finish your undergrad and your graduate degree, very episodic. It's going to change to something like this where it's going to constantly be re-education. You're going to constantly be upskilled or re-educated. So it's going to be lifelong. This is something this quote really sticks with me too, but in the 20th century, the ability to read or write was how you determined literacy. In this century, if you can't learn, unlearn, or relearn, it's just like not being able to read and write last century now, because it's moving that fast. Technology is changing everything that we do so quickly. If you're not into that agile cycle of constantly being re-educated, I think that's a problem. And for education institutions, this is a problem. Because all that data that they use to give these students this experience to try to run the business, it's in these data supplements that have been cemented by technology. And it's really difficult for CIOs or tech leaders to even have be a relevant part of the business to be able to help them understand a new way to operate. And this is what they're dealing with. So I think this is the world today. So we're all connected. It's really hard to connect all that data to provide this really great experience for your learner or your customer when everything else is objective. So we have a company, we bought a company a year ago called MuleSoft, but there's other platforms or integration platforms and services that do just this. We give CIOs ways to kind of think about how they're going to deliver this type of change over time. Right now, if you don't have an integration strategy as a CIO, you're really, I think, behind the eight ball with what's coming from different technology that's going to disrupt or enhance your business. But instead of being the chief information officer, this is what I always saw myself as when I was in the CIO role. But now I think more than ever, you can make this beautiful music for customers through this integration strategy with the platform. And that's how a lot of our customers are being engaged around our platform. So at UT, I was lucky enough to work for this gentleman that was the chancellor of the UT system. His name is Bill McRaven. He was a Navy SEAL who ran the bin Laden. So if you've ever seen this movie, it was about what he was able to accomplish. And he taught me a lot around planning and things like that. But I thought, why I moved my family to Texas to do work with the University of Texas, because I thought if we had a guy like that in the lead of an academic institution that size, we could actually have change happen. Okay? I was wrong, but go through this. This is how I see systems of record. And I see this beautiful rainbow that gets us this platform of engagement. That's what we use Salesforce for when I was at BT, to be able to do this. We call it TEX, the Total Education Experience. And I'm going to get to the blockchain part of it. This is what we've kind of unbound a whole degree process to get to this progressive profile of the student that was baked inside of Salesforce at the core of the UT system. And we did, here's the representation. So there's 14 universities at UT, health institutions, four-year schools in Boston, and some cancer centers, best cancer center in the world, and the Anderson. So they all have their own data systems, they all have their own CIOs, they all have their own ideas about how to use data. But the thing is, we had PeopleSoft and we had Banner as the two information systems that were on each one of these campuses. And we had two learning management systems called Canvas and Blackboard. So we had four systems, or four different enterprise systems. We had to take data out to move it over here to this profile. So what we did was create those integration points, called productized integrations. So I didn't want my CIOs or CISOs to think about this. I wanted to give them a way to move that data over to this profile of the learner in an event model that they control. So it gave them a way to move data to places that would be more relevant in somebody's pocket, motivating them, than just stored in these data systems to be reported with. So that was the idea. And we backed it with this idea. It's called Chainscript. Excuse me. This was 2015-16. So we use a multi-chains. Remember, this is a long time ago when we were talking about blockchain time. But what it did was a lot of students log in. We were federated logins with some other identity methods, which I'll talk to in a minute. And when they logged in, it showed them the representation of all the badges they were able to earn inside of the degree that we had working through. It was a cybersecurity degree. They didn't just get grade, they got marketable skills that came out of that relationship as they were going through to motivate them to do the next thing. So what they were able to do is look at all these little badges here, and they were able to look at them and see what they equated to. And they were able to create these things called stacks. So not just sharing a whole transcript, but what did you want to share with your next employer? So they were able to create a stack of these skills, and then text or message them to somebody, and it would send them to this website where they'd be able to just validate this ID, this hash ID, that stack of badges. And that's how they were able to do that. So the Chainscript was invented just for the UT system, to keep it inside the UT system at first. You're eventually going to go out to the state of Texas, and hopefully it's the world, but again, we failed. I'll tell you why in a second. But this is what we were able to produce on top of that. So this is the Rio Grande Valley, so the second poorest county in Texas is down in Brownsville, Texas, the border. So we delivered this iPad app to these students that were taking ES Biomedical Sciences to kind of see how we could create an experience that would wrap all of this crazy technology on their campuses. This is what we built. To be able to wrap all this technology and give them one experience. So all of these systems were on their silos, including us. It was every one of these. So they had different data in all these different silos. What we constructed was this API library. We didn't use MuleSoft. This is something we did very customized right here to move data over to what I first called that the VCR, this, and people looked at me like, what's a VCR? really old. You can't believe that people know this. So we call it the historian. So what it did was take all of this data in an event model, moved it over to this data circuit, so we made all the data visible. So what we got from it was top to bottom, A through F, and each one of those threads is a student. So you'd be able to see them in real time, how they were going through the environment. So you get like almost a stock ticker view of somebody's success. It's unbelievable for people. This is the greatest part. That right there, in University of Texas system, if you don't pass chemistry, you can't get a STEM degree. Period. We're done. You're out of any STEM degree. So 39% used to get through that. When we did it, 70% got through our iPad because they were able to move ahead by 2 weeks or slow down by 2 weeks. So we gave them agency. And we let them move at their own pace. So that was good guardrails. It was really unbelievable that number turned out. But then the kids that usually progressed from C or better to here, 23% used to get through, 90% got through. That was a big problem. Faculty didn't believe that. They're like, we're going to take a paper test. This is crazy. They aced it. So these kids got to go, it was Ted Mitchell, Undersecretary of Education under Obama. And they got to go to the White House. This is Julian. He's one of my favorite people. He got to speak. He was so eloquent about how this was a superpower. Just having the ability to have all the materials, agency, and connected to all his friends. They had all that in his pocket, or in his iPad. That was a superpower. It was unbelievable how he talked about it. So it gives me chills even thinking. But this is how it was before and what we did afterwards. Even with this, we had a $100 million budget, and what I did with the blockchain saved us $132 million. I still close this, okay? Because this was all the friction in that business when you thought of 14 institutions, all the HR costs, all the workflow costs, just to get a kid to go, when 68% of them go to 3 or more universities in that system before they graduate. And every workflow says they stay in one place. So once you do that, it's hard to argue with the idea. So getting the blockchain into a privatized ledger that we could really permission and start to think of as a university system is how we originally took the market. And we kind of progressed into what we're doing here at Salesforce right now. So these 12 technologies are what is going to disrupt us, and are doing it today. Really, I think enhancing this, they're not disrupting. But the blockchain is the one thing I think is going to really, has the option, the ability to really change it. But this is why I think it's even more important. These 3 things are now in our world because of the blockchain. Well, the blockchain is making these 2 things a lot more relevant. So digital badging has been around for a long time. Probably everybody in here has a badge or something, or their LinkedIn profile from something. That's been around. This is really interesting what's happening here at this job data exchange. I'll explain that in the blockchain. But if you think of these digital badges and the metadata that can be connected to them, and if we had a way to have an AWS educate using this standard, it's called Open Badging with OpenAI. A lot of our academic partners are using it too. So if Trailhead, our learning platform, would use it, we'd have a way to crosswalk all of those different environments with all of this data. Okay? Non-RNA in English, what are those marketable skills that they got out of that environment? And a way to communicate that. And this is why I think it's important. When I graduated, when I left the UT system, Chancellor McRaven was leaving too, he gave me one of these. It's his challenge coin. It's a coin that shows trust, that he trusts me, and that this is something that represents that we work together. And I can show that in the military environment, free trade, but big deal. But it's a way to show that there was some trust between us. This badge is just a physical representation of the digital badge I just explained. But this is one part of the reason why I think badging hasn't taken off. Because we don't do competency-based job work. We don't do job description. We take a very long, lengthy representation of what we might do, and we'll put it out to the world. And what we found with some of our customers, when they're going out trying to find talent for machine learning, they might go get Google's or Microsoft's or our job description, cut and paste, put your name in it, and try to go hire people in that role. It's really difficult to do. So what they found that they were trying to find people that could apply machine learning algorithms to their business. That's a whole different skill set. What they found when they unbound the job description into competencies, they had most of that talent in their roles. 80% of it came from reskilling the people they already have. They just didn't see it. So this is happening at the federal government level. The U.S. Department Chamber of Commerce is doing a lot of work there. But it's going to give us a way to do this. So it's going to translate these two worlds. Some call it digital was other stuff, but I think that industry and academia need a language to communicate this a lot easier. This is what OBI, that Badger initiative, and this JDX will do for us. So now it's the blockchain. This is a pretty technical audience. I mean, everybody here is here because of blockchain. Some of these might be kind of recent. I just find it kind of interesting that that's the photo. It's the beginning of all those 4 Japanese companies. And it's been, everybody knows it's a cryptocurrency, double spend, everything put into the world in 2009. Never been cracked, it's still anonymous. But I think it's cost us a lot of crypto confusion because of this is what it did. It took 2 untrusted people anonymously and had a trusted transaction with money. So you can't double spend that money. That was a really interesting way to show this out. Completely inefficient, and it's led to a lot of this. When I was at UT, we were doing our work right around here, and this is when the Dow, if anybody was paying attention to the theory at that time, it was a breach of a wallet. We were going to use a public chain. Watch what happens in 2017. This is insane. This is exponential growth, and this is what it looks like. But when you look at $23 billion has been spent, anybody, is there any value up there? What are we seeing? I mean, this is crazy. This is what I call crypto confusion. So when I'm talking to a lot of our C-suite folks, we always start here because they're always thinking blockchain, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, which I think is great. It's a great thing. It's not what I'm trying to show them. So I want to show them this, where they already have trust. These schools already trust each other, and they don't use the data strategically like other industries do. Other industries have really, really great data practices that use this data ethically to really interact with their customer. Education really doesn't. They use it for reporting. So it's not really as strategic as it could be, so they can share it a lot easier. They already trust each other. They already have these relationships above this. So let's codify that trust inside of a blockchain that's privatized. We call it the Trusted Learner Network. And then let students' information be consented to move back and forth between institutions. Consent, that's really the word, because it changes for both. So that's where I'm just going to give you a little representation of the video. See if there's that might go there.
What if you could create a new business model for collaborating more efficiently with all your partners? Today, companies have walls around every source of data, so it's costly and complex to share information. But with Salesforce blockchain, you can create a secure network for quickly and reliably sharing data. A blockchain is a new kind of database. It's secure and tamper-proof, and instead of being centrally managed, it's distributed among multiple parties. Each party has their own copy of the database, and the data is traceable for easy auditing. When everyone has visibility into the same data, it builds trust in the network, and this helps companies come together to deliver better customer experiences. Like a high-end clothing company with a complex supply chain. Their customers want assurances about ethical sourcing and product authenticity. And with Salesforce blockchain, the company can create a trust network for their entire supply chain, adding every cotton grower and fabric factory. The blockchain gives them visibility into each step along the way, so it's quicker and easier to trace a product back to its source, confirm ethical labor practices, and elevate customer trust. A university can use Salesforce blockchain to create a lifelong learner profile for each student that's shared across a network of schools. As the student progresses, her transcripts and degrees are published to the network in real time, making it simple to transfer colleges. And after graduating, she can easily show her learner profile to a potential employer, confirming her entire education history. Building a blockchain usually requires lots of code, but with Salesforce blockchain, you can do it with clicks. Just start by defining the rules for your trust network. Then pick the data you want to share. Invite your partners, setting permissions for who can see and do what on the network. And they can all connect using Salesforce or any app of their choice. You can even set it up to send notifications, automate actions, and trigger workflows, helping you break boundaries to collaborate in new ways and keep your customers at the center of your business. Visit Trailhead to get started and see how to create your network of trust with Salesforce blockchain. Blaze your trail with Salesforce.
So, different way to think about blockchain, not the crypto way, the currency way, or the trust way for businesses and industries to codify the trust and be able to do business with it. So right now, this is what we're seeing right now. Opportunity accounts completely distributed between all these different universities and schools. But really, the students find that value across all of those institutions, including open things like Trailhead on our platform, or AWS Educate, or any of the big MOOCs, any Coursera, any of these things. So this is a representation of how that data can be back in with the learner. But taking the best of blockchain, this distributed, verified, and secure methodology or protocol, and applying it in a way that allows the businesses to kind of find new systems to create where you can bring your own data or consent to the use of somebody's data in them. So that's those two. That's the highest level that we kind of talked about in that, and we're getting a lot of our customers are really understanding and starting to build those ideas out with us. Here's the biggest problem, I think. There's not enough talent at all in this space. There's so many great ideas. I work at Salesforce. We have 40 million businesses we work with. I've heard over 1,000 great ideas. There's no way, there's not enough people to do this. That's why we kind of abstracted away a lot of the complexity to allow almost an admin to start up these trust networks and build the data models and start to trace the data and see what we can do with it. We need to make it that easy. And we're really great at that. Salesforce is really good at making clicks on code, a way to really get this mechanism and a way to get these data models tested. So we want to make it really easy for partners to engage. I think this is a secret to some of the success that we'll see around enterprise blockchains that take this type of interface. It's really difficult. I've worked with Hyperledger. This is actually built in Sawtooth Hyperledger underneath the covers. But this abstraction layer is something that's all Salesforce. I think the work I did with UT took almost 18 months. The work we did with Arizona State took 8 weeks because we had this interface, which is unbelievably. For me to stand there and say that 3 years later, it usually takes 5 to 10 to have that type of abstraction. So clicks not code. The cool part is I think this engaged partners we're able to do these things very easily. Create network, quick data, integrate and automate, and engage partners. The one part that is let me just go past this part. So Salesforce partner doesn't use Salesforce. Why would we put a product in the market where we can have our competitors connect to it? It's because this is so much more important to connect people right now. We're trying to contain all of that. So what we've been able to do is, like, if you're using Salesforce, it can be super easy to integrate with our blockchain. If you want to use our open API, we have that too. And Arizona State actually helped us build that to be able to say, a lot of our university partners will find value in this trust and learn network are our customers. But that's okay. We're going to show value to their customers. I think they're going to see a lot of value in what they can do with the programs. So that's Dr. Crow. It's Michael Crow. He's the president of ASU. He's the guy on Reddit. If you ever see the meme, he says innovation like 500 times in 3 minutes. In a bunch of speech, they collapse him into a little meme. It's kind of funny. But he's an unbelievable leader. And he had this idea about universal learning. This is how it started with us. So we said, to be able to do that, you really need a way for all these universities to trust each other and be able to do that with blockchain. So that's how we kind of started this. Lots of use cases that we thought of when we started the project, and they went across the university. This wasn't a technology-driven thing. This was a business-driven thing. So the registrar, the provost, student services, everybody was involved with coming up with these ideas. There was 22 of them, like 8 or 9. That's what we focused on. Reverse transfer is a way for a kid to leave community college, go to ASU, have some type of life moment happen, and they're able to reverse transfer their credits back to where they started to be able to get an associate's degree. Because some of the work that they did at their 4-year institution like ASU gives them the ability to have an associate's degree, but really, it's really hard to do. So reverse transfer has been around for a while. Why we chose that is because it delivered value to ASU, it delivered value to the student, delivered value to the other partner, the community college in California. So this is representation of what it is, very basic. Using Salesforce is like an integration hub. So this was ASU, this was the community college in California. We both had a node on the Sawtooth network that we built. And we were able to allow to create interfaces through that blockchain interface I showed you, to be able to say a student left community college, went to ASU, life happened. At that moment, the student did say, I consent to my data being sent back to my other campus to be able to issue me a degree. That gets a credential for the student, which is really valuable in our job market. Even if it's an associate's degree, it's something. Other thing is, it gets issue of the relationship with the student for a long time because they're on that, in that network. The best part is the community college, who is really underfunded, gets funded because they get to stamp a degree. That, unfortunately, that's how they're validated. They get to stamp their associate's degree, they get more funding. So we showed them a way to see invisible data. It was all there, it was just we had to have a mechanism, and then somebody would be able to say, I consent to use that. So we really changed the way we think about data through that architecture. And this is just another idea of how we see it coming across many different learning environments in the future. I got to go with Phil Long. That's the guy from Arizona State. We used to work together at UT too. His name's Phil Long. I'm Phil Komarny. I'm P2. That's P1. He is older than me, but he's my very good friend. And he's been my mentor a lot of this blockchain stuff when we worked at UT. We numbered each other because we had too many emails together, and we were always answering those emails. But I got to go to the Department of Education and talk about this. So the leadership there wanted to know more about what this trusted learning would mean for our government, what it would mean for Pele issuing financial aid, which I found out that was 8% of all Pele is issued to fraudulent actors per year. That's $6 billion of our tax money every year. Our federal government knows it issues to people that are fraudulently using it. I find that's completely frustrating. But this kind of mechanism could solve some of those problems around how we look at students' progress at a very individual level, not a reported level from the university, where it takes out some of that. So they're very interested in this architecture. I find this pretty fascinating. You know, our Congress this year, whatever, this bill was put through. It's not going to go anywhere, but we're starting to see this. Data is property. That's a big differentiator for a lot of spaces, and I think it's pretty interesting. But everything changes hard. This isn't just 1540 something. You know, Machiavelli's the prince. Still, even with all the changes, lukewarmness, the parties of fear of the adversaries and laws, because they're all in the other person's favor, it's always hard to make these changes. But we have to really investigate this stuff. And I'll leave you with this. This is something everybody should look at. We're all Americans. OpportunityAtlas.com. It is a 40-year research study from Harvard University that shows what's the most predictive thing in this country about your future is your zip code, which is kind of frustrating. It has nothing to do with that. It's where you were raised. So when you look at this site, I love to talk about big data analysis through it because it tells stories about data. And when you see the stories inside of the site, you can't unsee them. But this is something I think we can solve. Getting opportunity into these areas that were very underserved physically. We can do it digitally if we can really solve badging, and we can solve identity sometimes. So digital reputation can matter in this to that place. And Bill McRaven shared this with me, and I use it everywhere. You can't integrate this by being timid. So don't be afraid to be wrong first. It's just like being right. So you just go forth and really try to use this blockchain the way we can see it work. So thanks very much.
Okay, everyone, so that was a great presentation by Phil. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have really 2 session rooms going on. So if everyone's familiar with the other room, just go out there. You can go and hear Gerard Daché from the Government Blockchain Association if you're interested in government. If you're interested in healthcare, we have David Holding that's getting mic'd up now, and he'll give you a full rundown on what Microsoft is doing in the healthcare space and talk about his work with HIMSS as well, which is really a great health organization.